Second Fall of Zebes. Written by Kazerbeam and read by Goombasa. Space Pirate Terminal online. Processing bioscan. Access deny. I. Chozo power suit override. Access granted. Input command. Accessing High Command 6 log. Access granted. Displaying log. Log entry 10.024.8. The Hunter destroyed our operation on Zebes, and we ended most of our research pertaining to the destructive lifeforms known as Metroids. However, although Aran incapacitated Mother Brain, Commanders Ridley and Kraid, our mothership, and our colony, 3 frigates were stationed at a nearby asteroid belt in preparation for Federation attack. Upon the Hunter's departure, Frigate Orpheon and Siriasis returned to Zebes, whereas Vol Paragom went to the Dasha system to make contact with our research team on Aether. However, I do not object to the Hunter's so-called Zero mission to Zebes, for our living there was harsh, and now due to a loss of a member of High Council I have been invited to join. I intend to make quite a difference to the works. The Federation has recalled its fleet from the FS-176 system, enabling us to work more freely on Zebes. Log entry 10.069.8. The morale of our forces has never been higher, and I am pleased to say that my recommendations are contributing. Due to my beta ray, the Metroids are reproducing faster than ever, and we are also able to pacify them with a prototype sonic amplifier. Our research team on Aether has also contacted us with news of a strange substance found by one of their marines outside their perimeter. The Bliptrans also stated that a shipment of this strange substance is being sent to our team on Zebes. I am looking forward to examining it. Commanders Ridley and Kraid have been rejuvenated, and I have been looking into cybernetic enhancements for both. My request is pending approval from the rest of High Council. Mother Brain is still unable to communicate, and we are running low on Zebetite. We might have to disconnect her if she does not respond, although that would not even be considered by our other forces. They respect her to such a point that she seems like a god. I do not understand this reverence. In fact, given the choice, I would prefer to work with the Federation and no longer be an outcast. Having said this, I must be sure this log does not get into the wrong hands. Log entry 10.107.8. The Metroids contained at Aether are pacified, although all attempts to control them without Mother Brain have failed. We received a Bliptrans from the frigate Vol Paragom containing the location of a planet they had pinpointed in our system, which our databases refer to as Talon 4. This planet seems to contain large quantities of the strange radioactive substance we dubbed Phazon. We dispatched the frigate Orpheon to investigate, and following my recommendations, Commander Ridley accompanied them. For without a high command, order falls into chaos, and with Ridley's new mechanical improvements, he would be more than enough to protect the new research team from hostile forces. The Phazon appears to be a highly efficient energy source, and as such High Command intends to use it to replace Zebetite in terms of Mother Brain's energy source. I disagreed, due to the fact that we know little next to nothing about Phazon, and we should wait until we discovered more about it. Of course, the rest of High Command disregarded my comments entirely. Even among our own species we are discredited, for we scientists are ridiculed for being weak and afraid. How wrong they are. Log entry 10.153.9. The batch of Phazon promised by Research Team Aether has arrived, and High Command immediately confiscated most of it to replace the Zebetite. With the little we had left, our research team began to run the substance through our equipment, with extraordinary results. Phazon seems to be a living, sentient, radioactive energy that is highly dangerous and powerful. After broadcasting this knowledge to our facilities, Security Command requested that I develop a branch of weapons from the substance, and I have decided to start work as soon as possible. High Command still remains firm with its decision to rejuvenate Mother Brain via Phazon, despite these shocking findings. The fools do not realize that this substance could kill, or at the very least damage the mother. Actually, this may not be such a bad idea. If this continues, perhaps Mother Brain will never awaken, and the tyrant will not take control of us again. The Metroids here on Zebes remain pacified and fed, and we have started developing an artificial intelligence to rival Mother Brain of the Chozo, or the Aurora units of the Federation. We hope we can use it to control the Metroids so that our research can continue. Commander Kraid's cybernetic additions are now fully functional, and he has returned to active duty, but Commander Ridley's physique seems to be rejecting the enhancements. I will ask the crew of the frigate Orpheon to specify, and I will try to work around that. The Galactic Federation is still paying no attention to Zebes, which is a great advantage as it allows us to communicate freely with Utragas. Our homeworld is also cloaked, and although the Federation constantly searches for it, they are unsuccessful. We are rising again. Log entry 10.200.9. Our research team on Talon 4 contacted us to wait for another commander being transferred from Worgen, who was recommended by Commander Ridley. He arrived a few days ago and introduced himself as General Drurant, and informed us that Ridley had given him his powers while he was at Talon 4. He quickly became popular among our colony and is proving to be more tactical than Commander Ridley. News from Talon 4 included an update on their Phazon project, Project Helix. They informed us that their science team had started infusing Phazon with their own kind, with only a 10% fatality rate. I was shocked to discover how little value Research Team Talon had for space pirate lives, although none of the rest of High Command, with the exception of General Drurant, share this view. I decided to come to him with my discoveries of Phazon, although he rejected my thoughts. Although at first I thought he was as stubborn as the others, he pulled me aside earlier and informed me that he too thought little of Mother Brain. At first I was confused, but then I understood that he had access to my logs. After remembering that Commander Kraid also had access, I further added to the encryption of my logs. Log entry 10.251.9. We received word from Talon 4 that Phazon was having a major effect on some of the crew. Their minds were going, and it was increasing their aggression and power. Technician 12 held some of the workers at gunpoint and demanded that the Phazon they had excavated all be given to him. He was overpowered, however, and is being contained. They also managed to discover some ancient Chozo technology buried in the reaches of the Phazon mines. This news was very interesting to us, as we thought the Chozo had only settled on Zebes before we had overthrown them. The Chozo were also beings who had created the Hunter's power suit. Research Team Talon requested permission to reverse engineer some of the technology. High Command approved on the condition that some be sent to us. We expect the technology in 50 decacycles. Contrary to experiments conducted on Talon 4 with Phazon biologically, I have been working on a mechanical armor suit that can increase its weaponry and defense systems temporarily via injection of Phazon from a container attached to the suit. I call this the Phazon Enhancement Device, or PED, and, although it is still only in a prototype form, I fully expect it to be complete by the time the Chozo technology arrives, so I may begin to experiment with it. The Federation remains ignorant of our actions, although they have extended their control into the Dasha system. Research Team Aether is now sending coded blip trans at a more secure frequency. Log entry 10.309.9. Phazon is now beginning to affect some of our troops, although in a more minor way than on Talon 4. I have upped the containment of all of our Phazon in the hopes that less of it taints our forces. The Chozo weaponry arrived, and our science team is having a more difficult time reverse engineering the technology than I predicted, although I hope we will have completed our first power beam by 11.143. Commander Drurant requested a private conversation with me a few weeks ago. He informed me that Mother Brain has awoken, but the Phazon has affected her in such a way that she attacked all within reach. He had initialized lockdown in Torian, in the hopes that we could dull her mind control powers with Denzium. It was successful, but the rest of High Command has decided against informing me, due to the fact that I would have, and still would, vote for her termination. Research Team Talon notified us that they had discovered a mysterious creature that emits large amounts of phazon. I hope to hear more from them soon. Log entry 10.355.9. We have succeeded in designing our own artificial intelligence. I named our creation Horus, in honor of the space pirates who died during the attempted Horus Rebellion. Horus has displayed a personality similar to that of Mother Brain, easily controlling Metroids and controlling machines, but yet it seems more alive than the Chozo's creation. Although most of High Command won't admit it, Chozo technology is far superior to ours, so I am surprised we were able to best them in this feat. Research Team Talon sent us a blip trans detailing their discoveries with the creature they had captured. Apparently its DNA closely resembled a Metroid, and it could assimilate any form or weapon into itself, leading to several attempted escapes. It displays a limitless capacity for phazon. They also have discovered several ancient Chozo artifacts, which they have stated somehow allow access to more phazon. I do not understand how that works, and I hope that Research Team Talon will specify on these things more often. It has also come to my attention that they are still using an obsolete dual hologram system. I have notified them of this, and hope for correction in the near future. Team Sclera also seems to have made a breakthrough with phazon mutation on Talon. Pirate Upsilon in particular has displayed a tolerance to phazon not yet seen among space pirates. Horus is also displaying an interest in phazon, and is trying to develop a method to make us pirates more resistant to the substance. Although I said Chozo technology is superior to ours, Federation technology is not. Log entry 11.052.9. We lost contact with Research Team Talon a few days ago, but a blip trans was sent before then, asking for assistance and stating that the Hunter had arrived. How she managed to locate our forces is unknown, but I suspect that the Federation did not send her, but the cloaking device on Talon 4 malfunctioned. Whether they send her or not, the Federation must now know of our research. We intend to send some PED-equipped Marines to investigate Talon via frigate Gemini, for the Hunter would not be able to destroy those empowered by phazon. We also sent the frigate Colossus out to Aether, with reinforcements in the hopes that our colony there would survive the possible arrival of Samus Aran. Horus has succeeded in developing a cell culture resistant to phazon to be infused with us space pirates, and with the approval of High Council itself. General Druent confided in me again and told me that if the Federation attacked, we should not fight back, but try and engage a treaty. I thought that unlikely, but he was obviously of the same opinion as I was. The space pirates were mostly discriminated against by the greater community, but most of the opinions were lies. Commanders Ridley and Kraid would not agree, but if we had the Federation on our side, things would be different. Access denied. Security breach. Shutting down. Own. Chozo power suit override. Access granted. Displaying log. Log entry 11.103.9. Frigate Colossus arrived at Aether without incident and informed us that although the Federation had not been troubling our colony there, shadowy beings invulnerable to all but the most powerful weaponry had begun to emerge from an unknown location. Also, the flux situated around the planet that they assumed was caused by solar flares turns out to be caused by another dimension sharing the same space-time as Aether. They discovered this upon claiming a mining facility in disrepair. In this facility, there is a machine capable of creating dimensional rifts, but it requires enormous amounts of energy. Near the device, they found a strange artifact that they deduced was a generator or weapon of some kind. High Command is eager for news on this device. A new weapon is always welcome in our ranks. The troops we sent to Talon 4 managed to recover some of the equipment and quite a few remaining space pirates who had survived the Hunter's genocide. Samus Aran has downloaded all of our research there, and High Command was disturbed by the fact that she single-handedly managed to take out the phazon-enhanced pirate and Pirate Upsilon. Commander Ridley has not been located, so we must assume he was terminated by the Hunter. Horus is displaying an affinity to working with us that Mother Brain never showed. The Mother always looked down on us, whereas Horus is regarding us as its equal. We are picking up Federation transmissions that regard the investigation of all space pirate activities. We must continue to work in secret, or at least until High Council comes to a decision regarding the action to take. We will not fail. Log entry 11.156.9. Horus has received a mental transmission from a distant star system known as the Alembic Cluster. The message refers to an ultimate power hidden inside the cluster. We have sent our strongest trooper to go investigate, for sending more in a larger starship would alert the Federation of our presence. The Marine High Command selected is known as Weevil, a feared bounty hunter known for his determination and cybernetic enhancements, given to him after he was nearly destroyed by the Hunter. I hoped to develop a PED enhancement for his suit, but there was not enough time due to the fact that Horus stated that the way the message was sent could be picked up by other beings' minds. We had also started tampering with the DNA of the Metroids we have contained, in the hopes that we can find a way to allow Metroids to give as well as take energy. Research Team Aether has managed to use the mysterious artifact they discovered to open the rift, although only for limited times. Through this portal, they have discovered a parallel version of Aether. This dark Aether has suffered a global calamity, turning it into a toxic wasteland. And it is also the home to the shadowy beings that have troubled their colony so. Further expeditions have also revealed that this dark Aether contains more Phazon than Aether. The PED armor suit prototypes have displayed no negative side effects, and so development of more is underway. High Command is pleased with my progress in terms of Phazon experimentation. However, reverse engineering the Chozo technology is proving more difficult than I had foreseen. Commander Ridley was located by a second PED squad sent to Talon 4. He had been severely damaged by the Hunter, but reconstruction is underway, and I hope to be complete with them in less than a cycle. Log entry 11.208.9. Weevil returned from the Alembic Cluster and informed High Command that the actual location of the ultimate power was guarded by a powerful creature called Goria by the Alembic lore that had wiped out the Alembic race, the previous residents of the Alembic Cluster. Several other hunters also sought the ultimate power, including the infamous Samus Aran. Goria incapacitated all of the hunters and absorbed their powers, with the one exception of Samus Aran. The hunter defeated and, showing a state of mind I would never have believed of her, allowed the other hunters to escape the destruction of the hiding place of the ultimate power, including Weevil, which she knew was a space pirate. Although Weevil was unable to collect the ultimate power, he managed to scan the beast Goria and make away with some Alembic technology. Results from the scan are surprising. This beast has a similar genetic structure to that of the mutated Phazon Metroid on Talon 4 that was nearly contained. And the Alembic technology appears to contain trace amounts of Chozo technology. This might allow me to complete my reconstruction of the Chozo power suit within a cycle. Horus has now assisted our research team in devising a new form of Phazon, Green Phazon. Green Phazon contains more energy than the standard blue Phazon, but it also has less effect on biological beings. Life readings from Torian indicate that Mother Brain is now growing weaker from a lack of Zebetite or Phazon, but that she is making more Phazon herself and growing stronger. High Command finally see the truth and demand that more security be placed around the entrances to Torian. Research Team Aether requested more troops due to the toll excavating Phazon from Dark Aether is taking on them. High Command agreed, and Frigate Colossus is returning to collect our forces, although they also request that more Phazon supplies be sent with the return of the Colossus. Log entry 11.251.9. The Phazon shipments have arrived, and, what is of more importance, Research Team Aether sent us a duplicate they had managed to create of the strange artifact, which they dubbed the Dark Beam, due to the fact that, for them, it had more scope as a weapon. I immediately began to experiment with it and discovered that it appeared to be some form of Chozo and another alien race's technology. The Chozo appeared to have stretched much farther than we had previously assumed. The Dark Beam also appears to operate on some form of antimatter. Our science team is now attempting to attach it to our new PED systems. The frigate Colossus was returned to Aether due to more requests for troops, for a being resembling the Hunter had started tormenting them. Instead of annihilating them as usual, she is merely stealing Phazon supplies, which they assume is used to power her new dark armor suit, and more devastating weapons than ever before. Nevertheless, Research Team Aether is still taking heavy damage. This new being also resembles readings taken from surviving equipment around the Phazon mines. When Aran left the mines, her suit was also a dark variant. The same equipment managed to scan her DNA and armor suit, allowing us to create battle simulators of our new PED troops. The Hunter will not destroy us again.
Log entry 11.308.9.
High Command confiscated our PED and Dark Beam-equipped prototype armor suits for our troops before I deemed them ready for field use. The results were catastrophic. When some of the elite forces tried to use them to pacify some imago that were attacking our facility, the Phazon-enhanced beam opened a rift to a parallel dimension. Immediately, Zebes started to experience the same sort of dimensional flux as Aether. Of course, I was blamed for the damage. No expeditions into the rift have been successful, for no troops return. We lost contact with Research Team Aether, and later the frigate Colossus soon after it entered the Dasha system. The last blip trans we received from Colossus mentioned that a Galactic Federation patrol may have picked up their position. I suggested that High Command send backup to help whatever situation may have arisen on Aether. However, only General Druent supported my opinion again. Commander Kraid said that the bulk of our troops should remain here to guard Mother Brain, Horus, and Commander Ridley, and the rest of High Command agreed. It seemed that Druent and I are the only ones who see that if Aether is taken, then we could be lost here on Zebes. Our Metroid experiments are going smoothly. I think we are close to discovering how the Metroid absorbs energy and replicating it.
Log entry 11.352.9.
After infiltrating Federation frequencies, I have discovered the worst. The Galactic Federation patrol ship Bravo crash-landed on Aether after heavily damaging the frigate Colossus. The Federation then responded by sending Samus Aran to assist the Marines. The Hunter did what she normally did, wipe out all of our kind on the planet and destroy all our research and facilities there. And now the Galactic Federation know we are here on Zebes. It's only a matter of time before we are attacked. But the Federation is not our only problem, for the shadowy creatures that were seen on Aether are now attacking us via the rift. We are holding them off with ease, but if it becomes a question of holding them both off, then we might not make it. We also received a blip trans that the frigate Colossus has managed to evade Federation capture and is now asking for instructions. High Command, displaying a state of mind common to Zebesians, order Colossus to take the remaining Phazon on Aether or die trying. Reconstruction of Commander Ridley is taking longer than expected due to the extent of damage inflicted on him by the Hunter. It has been suggested by High Council that a PED enhancement be added to Ridley. However, I refuse to do so, stating that delay added on to his reconstruction, which means that he would be vulnerable if the Federation attacked. Horus is helping up defenses by predicting Federation advances.
Log entry 12.057.9.
The Chozo reverse engineering project has been completed. I plan to send all of my research and findings to Utragas in order for them to be able to develop a new generation of warriors. We are currently implementing power suit, space jump, and various beam technologies with PED armor. Morph ball technology is more difficult due to the fact that it needs to be directly interfaced with your nervous system to properly function. Horus and I have started work on a Zero suit, which provides optimum performance in conjunction with Chozo technology, for myself without High Command's knowledge. They wouldn't approve if they were aware, but the end result justifies the means. The Federation are assembling on the fringes of the FS-167 system. I believe we will be able to hold them off when they attack. However, transmissions we have intercepted from the Federation indicate that they plan to send a task force before declaring outright war on Zebes. We are not sure who is involved in this task force, but they are no match for our PED-equipped soldiers. The frigate Colossus is returning, but is refusing or is unable to communicate. Perhaps they will tell us what happened on Aether, Bioscans of Torian indicate that there are multiple life forms other than Mother Brain. We must be careful. We cannot hold off Mother Brain and the Federation. The rift created in Meridia is silent for the time being, with no life forms existing in it. This is a relief to the High Command, due to the fact that the shadowy beings would have added another threat during our war. Horus is displaying more cooperation and seems more alive during my presence. I do not know why this is, but think that it might have something to do with me being its creator. Due to the fact that Torian is no longer safe, High Command has decided to set our main base for the war in Lower Norfair, along with Horus.
Further data corrupted. Attempting data reconstruction. Data reconstruction successful. Displaying log. Log entry 12.084.9.
Zebes has all but fallen. The task force of Federation mentioned referred to a group of bounty hunters: Rundus, Grandata, Gore, Noxus, and Samus Aran. They laid waste to our base in Crateria, and it's only a matter of time before they wipe out all of our operations. Mother Brain has managed to breach containment in Torian with a new body seemingly grown from Phazon, and wiped out the nearby facilities in Brinstar. I only escaped due to the Zero suit I had designed. Chozo technology is powerful. We've mainly retreated to Norfair, although a few remain in Meridia. The shadowy creatures from the other side have returned and are attacking with renewed force. The frigate Colossus contained news of Aether, but not what we expected. The being who so resembles Aran, and is now referred to as the Dark Hunter, has taken control over the remaining troops' minds, and now they wish to control us too. We cannot fight against all of these. Commander Kraid is guarding the entrance in Lower Norfair, and High Council has sent numerous troops to help him, although General Drurant and I disagreed again. We needed to all remain for a final stand together, not spread out, but I have secretly started to find a way to let the hunters in, and yet to let them know I was the one who did it. Perhaps by knowing that all of us are not dumb and witless, they might spare the few who join me. And they have joined, for General Drurant shares my plan and wishes to assist, and I have hacked into many of our troops' logs, discovering that some wish to survive this madness. We have contacted them and are preparing for the hunters' arrival. Perhaps fate might decide to be merciful.
Log entry 12.117.9.
Commander Kraid and most of our troops have fallen, and as we prepare for attack, fate chose this moment to bless us. As the hunters, Mother Brain, the Dark Hunter, and shadowy beings close in on the entrance to Lower Norfair, they begin to wage war against each other. In the battle that followed, the Dark Hunter and Mother Brain worked together and annihilated the others. However, via use of a Chozo cloaking device called the Spectre Suit, General Drurant and I managed to retrieve the hunters before they lost their lives completely. The other pirates who sided with us questioned our actions, but the reason we stopped them from being killed was because if we revived them, then they would see that us pirates aren't all as barbaric as Zebesians. We would be able to forge an alliance, and the space pirates would not be fought at every encounter. The Federation may be easily manipulated, but they are strong. Using my technology, the hunters are being pulled away from the horizon and are returning to us. Mother Brain and Dark Samus are at our gates, and are destroying the rest of our troops. My generators are running low, and Horus has shut itself down to preserve power. I can only hope our plans succeed. This really will be our final stand.
Further data corruption. Attempting data reconstruction. Data reconstruction failed. Shutting down. Space Pirate Terminal offline.
Samus's notes. This space pirate is the only reason we hunters survived the adventure on Zebes. After we awoke, he and his fellows had been terminated by the Phazon-mutated Mother Brain and Dark Samus, although they had managed to weaken them. We defeated Mother Brain, but Dark Samus escaped to Crateria, and by the time we had arrived, it had escaped on the frigate Colossus. This account must be recorded. That is why I am sending you this transmission. As for the rest of the mission...
Transmission intercepted.
I will come for you, Federation. You will pay for what you forced my creator to do. I am coming. I am Horus.
Transmission ended. Space Pirate Terminal offline. Processing bioscan. Access granted. Welcome, High Command 6. Input command. Accessing High Command 6 log. Access granted. Displaying security status. Security breached. Input log. Log entry 12.167.8.
It seems the Hunter has read my log entries and transmitted them to the Federation. I have secured my freedom, but General Drurand had been attacked by the Hunter without having a chance to explain himself. I may now leave Zebes and start a new life elsewhere, perhaps as another Hunter. I will not remain with the other space pirates. Not after what I have done. Although my name may be disgusted on Utragas, I will not be known for being a tyrant. This has been the log of Calrin, High Command 6, Chief Astrogation Officer. I wish my brothers best of luck.
Log saved. Input command. Delete entire log. Deleting log. Logging out. Shutting down. Space Pirate Terminal offline.
The End.